How's it going? Limit Break TCG coming. Got a little something different, right now. I got a deck profile for y'all. It's a black deck profile. It's not really meta, um, which is a little different because sometimes I do. I mean, sometimes I do meta, and sometimes I don't. But this is a fun deck that me and one of my fellow friends at our locals decided to put together. It is extremely fun. It's pretty consistent too, and it's actually pretty powerful. I took it to our locals this past Tuesday, where I played a lot of casual games with it. It wasn't tournament, it wasn't in the tournament, but it was a lot of casual games. They had a lot of people testing out different ideas, and some people were, testing out their meta decks, and it actually did really well most of the night. Just play testing for fun. So I decided to bring all the profile of it because again, it's super fun. I mean, the deck is only as good as the pilot in many cases. So I mean, as long as you pilot this really well, you can contend with meta decks. The only problem is sometimes OTK, it's a little too much to deal with. Meadow Guru, X-Shaded Body. Excuse me, still shooting these videos a little late. That hasn't changed. I haven't played against Grandest Quagamon yet because I'm kind of the only Grandest Quagamon player at my locals right now. So I didn't really test it against that. Speaking of Grandest, I actually did plan on bringing y'all a Grandest profile today planned, but I decided not to because my list it's only a little different from a lot of the lists you see online and Mario's gaming channel and True Champ Steven and all of their lists. It's kind of similar to that. There's only a couple cards difference, and I decided that it wasn't really worth showing y'all because it was about 90% to 95% the same as all the other lists you see on online. So I decided to bring y'all something totally different, something that is a little new, something that hasn't been talked about much, hasn't been I would say conceived yet until maybe now. So this is what I call Gate Guardian D-Brigade. And as a Yu-Gi-Oh player, back in the day I played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh. Everybody knows Gate Guardian. You have to have the three dudes, Kazejin, Suijin, and Sangha of Thunder, and you sacrifice them to play the Gate Guardian, and he was a big dude. It's kind of like that with the Raidenmon and the Fujinmon and stuff like that, but we'll get to that. But it has the D-Brigade as a main body. So let's dive into this. I've been rambling along long enough. Baby of Choice 3, 4, Pagumon, helps with consistency. A lot of times we don't care if our stuff gets deleted. Most of the time this goes on some rookie Commandramons, which we'll get to in a little bit. So the on deletion, reveal the top card if it's a black Digimon, add it to hand. It helps search power. It helps us get to our Digimon pieces quicker. Helps us get to our D-Brigades that we need. Helps us get to the Gate Guardian pieces that we need. Or stuff like that. Just things that we need to see, things that we need to see quickly. Hopefully we'll reveal it off the top. If not, if it's an option or a tamer, we'll put it to the bottom. But all Digimon we play are black, so any Digimon we reveal with this, we're going to be adding our turn in. So that's our baby of choice. Moving on to the rookies, D-Brigade package. Let me see, where's the best way? There we go. 4 of the 2-drop vanilla Commandramons. 4 of the BT3. BT4, I'm sorry. BT4 Commandromons were on deletion, reveal the top 3. If you reveal a Commandromon, you may play it without paying its cost. Put the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. We play 4 of the 4-cost Commandromons. They're 5k, big rookies. Gets over a lot of 4k blockers. And their 4k blockers are a thing. And, you know, sometimes he lives checks a lot more. If he hits, he checks, he lives up into a 5k check, so he lives most of the time. Then our last is blockers. Blockers very important. This is an OTK format. Playing our blockers, if they don't answer it, or hopefully have piercing in the case of Grandis Kawagamon. Like I said, I'm the only Grandis player at our locals, so I haven't really dealt with that yet. I'll just block their OTK hits, and hopefully it survives me. And then our last rookies are 2 Hagurumon. We play nothing except for our Grumbles, which I'll show y'all next. Y'all see it now. Except for our Grumble level 4s. Everything in this deck is cyborgs or machines. So on play, you may trash a machine or cyborg and its traits to draw 2. So that's just about all of our deck except for our options and our Grumblemon and our Death Xmon, which we will get to. Now y'all know that's in the deck. But I'll explain the Death X a little bit more when we get closer to it. So that's our rookies, and then I've mentioned the Grumbles. Grumbles is because we play a good bit of Tamers. Grumbles finishes off the games. Now, here is a little... let me explain this real quick. Now, this I'll get to in a little bit. This would be a 4th Darkdramon, but I couldn't find a 4th one at the time of building this deck. And then I put some thought into this card, and it actually made a little bit of sense. So I'll get to this in a little bit. I'll put this right here. But Darkdramon. So as the Darkdramon, as D-Brigade players know, he's got Rush. He costs 13. On play, you return up to 5 Digimon cards with D-Brigade and their types to your trash. From your trash to the top of your deck in any order. For each card placed, you gain 2 memories. So you have to pay the 13 for this. So if you're at 12... just because you're overall paying 3 for this, if you put back 5 D-Brigades, you still have to pay the initial 13. So, you have to be at 3 or more to play this card. So, you play this card, you put your 5 back, you gain your memory. Hopefully they don't have a memory blocker because it does stop that. But if they don't have a memory blocker, you put your 5 back on top however you want. Play this. He's got Rush, but most of the time we don't swing right away. Unless we absolutely have to, or we're really pushing for a gain. We play this because it's an easier way. Instead of going up a line, like going from rookie to level 4 to level 5 to level 6, we kind of just go this for 3, and then we go right to the Raidenmons, which we play 4 of, which I'll get to the explanation in this in a little bit. But the reason we play this is because basically it's a 3-cost level 6. Once you get your setup right, and it's pretty easy to get the setup, as long as you're trashing or your dudes are dying quick enough. And this is a deck you don't mind your dudes dying because you're trying to fill up that trash to get your Darkdramon to pop off. So once you pop your Darkdramon, you go right into the Raiden, you do the Gate Guardian shenanigans stuff, which we'll get to in a little bit, and you're there and you're done. With that stack. So the reason for this is because, like I said, I couldn't find a 4th one of this. But upon reading this card and thinking about it, it made sense because you're paying 12 for 1 body instead of 3 for a body. But you pay 12, you de-digivolve 2 things twice, and he is a blocker. So it sucks that you're playing 12, sure. This mostly is only for the plays if they give you a lot of memory to work with. So sometimes, if I don't need to, instead of just playing a field full of little dudes, like if they give me 6 memory, instead of playing a bunch of these and then just passing the turn somehow, I'll pay the 6 and then give them 6 to work with. I'll pay the full 12 for this to digivolve 2 things twice, and then he's still a blocker, which we are in we are in a OTK format, so blockers are really nice. I might change this if I can find at my locals. Probably, I'm sure I could. If I can find a 4th copy of Digimon, I'd probably take it out for this. But theoretically, this is a good idea, and I'm gonna test it. But if it doesn't work good, then just ultimately take this with a grain of salt. Take this profile, and just let this be a 4th Digimon. But I'm gonna test this. I'll let y'all know how it does if y'all really want to know. But theoretically, this is a good idea. So I'm going to give it a try, and then it's a level 6. We can go into our Raidenmons right after that. Next turn, if we got to, do the shenanigans and all that good stuff. So that's those level 6s. Let me get to the Gate Guardian shenanigans and kind of explain that to y'all. So we play 4 Raidenmon, as I showed y'all. And Raidenmon says, on play or when digivolving, you may place a Raijinmon, which we have 1, a Fujinmon, which we have 1, and a Suijinmon from your trash to the underneath this in any order, and then gain a memory for each one. So ultimately, you're paying 9 for this if you absolutely have to. So sometimes, if we decide we don't want to go into this and then just go into this for cheaper, if we have these set up in the trash, then we'll do that. But sometimes the blocker with the digivolve 2 things twice can come in handy. But again, this is all theoretically. More than likely, I probably will change that to a 4th Digimon. But anyway, and then, so when attacking, if this level 6, let me read it exactly, that way I don't mess up the lines, the words for y'all. If the level 6 cards in this Digimon's Digi-Evolution have 3 or more colors among them, this Digimon gains 3k. So basically you're at 3 colors if you've got 2 of them, because you're already a black, and then you gain the green and you gain the yellow. So that's 3 colors, you'll gain the 3k. If you've got 4 or more colors underneath them, you gain when attacking Digivolve. Yeah. 4 or more, okay. Just double check. So if you got the black and then 2 colors, you get the 3k. So he's a 15k, and then of course he gets these 2 when attackings as well. Raijin has, when attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4k for the turn. Fujin is suspend one of your opponent's Digimon with 5k or less. That Digimon doesn't unsuspend during the next unsuspend phase. And Suijin has return a level 4 to the hand. So typically the return level 4 to the hand is if they have a memory blocker. That way we can get our Digimon set up next to go into another one of these if we want to. But okay, anyway, I blanked out. I'm sorry. So basically, we want to get here. This is our Gate Guardian stack. Digimon helps us get there, so we'll do the D-Brigade shenanigans. Pay 3 for this. Go into 2 for this. And if we pilot it right and we're trashing these, we want these in the trash. You want to trash these as quick as possible. So if this is in your hand, when we do Kazu, our Tamer, which I'll show you in a minute, or Haguru, and we want to trash a cyborg or a machine to draw 2 with Haguru, these are the cards you want gone. You want these in the trash as quick as possible so you can use them for your Raidenmon. Raidenmon, my bad. So that's kind of the idea the deck was built upon, was doing the D-Brigade to get to your level 6 quick, playing the Raidenmon on top of them, putting these 3 underneath it from the trash, and just making your Gate Guardian. This is basically Gate Guardian right here. And now you're swinging. You're 15k. You're digivolving when you swing. You're tapping something 5k or less. Let me show you all a little bit better. Okay, you're swinging. You're 15k. You're digivolving one thing. You're tapping something that's 5k or less. You're subtracting something by 4k and you're bouncing something level 4 or lower. So you can stack this correctly if you want to. What you could do is you could swing, if they have a level 6, you could swing at it, de-digivolve it, now it's a level 5. You can minus it level 4, which normally would make it 5k or less. Then you could tap it, it won't unsuspend, and then you can just bounce to level 4 on their turn. Or if they have a level 5, you can swing, de-digivolve it, and if the level 5 is not, now the level 5 is a level 4, if it's 4k or less, you can just kill it outright with this. You can suspend it and it won't unsuspend with this, or you can just bounce it all together. So you can really stack this and activate the when attackings however you want to fit the to fit your situation best. But again, putting proccing these effects in the order you want to that fits your situation best comes down to the pilot, comes down to the game state. It really depends on what you want to do or what you need done. But that's the Gate Guardian idea. Let's move on, and let me stop rambling about this. Let me move on to the rest of the deck. And I mentioned it before, we do play Death X. Death X is just a stupid card. It is my favorite secret rare to come out of this game in at least the past 4 sets. I haven't been, when I read this card, I haven't been so excited for a secret rare to come out since probably Lucimon in set 4, or maybe Blitzomni in set 5. I was really hyped for those secret rares, and since then the secret rares have kind of been, the secret rares have been good, don't get me wrong, but they've been very I don't want to say not splashable is a word, but I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at. They weren't really splashable. These are kind of splashable in any deck, because when you would play this Digimon, you can reduce the cost by 3 for every Digimon or Tamer your opponent has. Now, if they have the Digimon that says you can't reduce play cost, that is a problem. But we have a lot of things that can kind of get rid of those. For example, we could... I mean, actually, we really don't have many things that can get rid of it. Kind of just the Raijin to kill it, or the Suijin to bounce it. We have options and stuff like that, but we'll get to that. But this card is really stupid. So its play cost is reduced by 30 for every Digimon and Tamer your opponent has. And then on play, de-digivolve 1 all of your opponent's Digimon, and then delete all of their level 4 or lowers. And then on your opponent's turn, once per turn, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. So that's kind of stupid. Kind of a broken card, guys. I would play this at 3 if I had a third copy. But I don't. I only have 2 copies. And these also will be going in my Dark Knightmon deck for next set, which I'm really excited about. I've been so hyped for Dark Knightmon, but that's for another time. Death X, brilliant card. 2 of in this deck. I'd run 3 if I had it, but I don't. So now we're moving on to our Tamers. We play 3 Kazu, and this is the card I was talking about, Kazu. So, start of your main phase. So as I've mentioned in our previous video, your main phase is after your breeding phase. So you do draw step, breeding phase, then the start of your main phase. So if you don't have anything, it says if you have a cyborg or a machine in play, gain a memory. So let's say your board is clear, but you have a Commandramon in your breeding area, and you move it out. Since the main phase is after your breeding step. Once you breed, if you move it out, you now have a card. You now have a machine, cyborg, because D-Brigades are cyborgs. Yet you now have a machine or a cyborg in play, so you will gain the memory. So yeah, start a main phase if you have a Digimon. with Cyborg or Machine in its traits, gain a memory. And then all turns, when one of your Digimon with Cyborg or Machine becomes suspended, so that's if your opponent suspends them, or if you suspend it because you're blocking with the Commandramon that blocks. So if you're blocking with this, you can tap the Kazu to use the effect. If you're swinging with a Digimon that has Cyborg or Machine, you can tap this to draw a card and then trash a card. So you're drawing and you're trying to trash your Gate Guardian dudes. You're trying to trash your Raijin, Suijin, and Fujin as fast as you can. So Kazu helps you do that. Gives you some draw, lets you trash those Fujins and stuff that you want in the trash, or lets you trash your Commandramons if you're trying to get to your Darkdramon play quick. And then the gaining of memory at the start of the turn, start of the main phase, big help too. We play 2 Izzies, and since every card in this deck is black, or purple, or yellow, or green, or blue, but they are all black, we're always paying 3 for this, or we're always gaining a memory if it's played from security. It's our set to 3 Tamer, and we play it for 3, or we gain a memory if they hit it in security. And we get to stack our deck, we get to put our cards how we want. We play Pride Memory Boost, I'll get to that a little bit. If we want to stack our deck to mill cards, certain cards in a certain order that we don't want, or if we're trying to stack our deck for this Commandramon, that way we know we have a Commandramon that's going to get hit. This goes 3 deep. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, rearrange them in any order you want, put them back to the top of your deck how you want. And lastly, we play 2 Joe and Izzy Joes. Start of your turn, gain 2 memory if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon, and then opponent's turn, when one of your Digimon is deleted, you may tap this to draw a card. So this is also more draw power. Excuse me. 7 Tamers. Thought like that's fine. You don't want too many of them. Starts to get a little clunky. I have thought about doing 4 Kazu, 1 Izzy, and 2 Izzy Joes, but I feel like for now, sometimes seeing 1 or 2 Kazus is fine. With an Izzy, starting you at 3, 4, or 5 memory is fine. And then this is just for an extra loaded memory if you're really trying to pop off a turn. This helps the Machine Dramon play be a little bit less hurtful if they have multiple cards on the field. You get your memory up there, you get to play your Death X, you get to play your Darkdramon, you get to play Raidenmon, and it hurts a little less. You get to play your Machine Dramon, and it hurts a little less because you got so much memory. It's fine paying 12. It's fine paying 12, 11, 10, 9 sometimes for these big dudes. And that's all for our Tamers. Now moving on to the options. Alright, we have quite the spread. 2 Zubagon Punch. Zubagon is fun in this deck. We'll give it to a Death X. We'll give it to a Raiden. Giving it to a Raiden that has these 3 underneath it is real cool. Because we'll swing. We'll do all the wind attackings. We can restand it. It'll have reboot blocker. So now you've swung with it, did all your shenanigans, and now you're restanding it, and now it's a blocker. The 3K is also until your end of your opponent's turn. So it will be a 15K, 16, 17, 18K until the end of your opponent's next turn. So he is a big blocker. And then naturally you put it on a Death X that's pretty cheeky as well. Death X, swing big with Death X, restand him, and he is a blocker, an 18k blocker. A little bit of floodgate stuff, just to kind of keep your opponent at bay. A little bit of Kongus. Kongus was a really good card. Oops, I'm so sorry, I hit the camera. All right, now I got it. Okay. Kongu's great card. Till the end of your opponent's turn, your opponent's Digimon with play cost 7 or less can't attack players. They can still attack Digimon. Oh well, it's okay. But they can't attack players, and cards can't be added to security stacks for your opponent's effects. It is important to know that they can still activate cards like that, such as if you have this and they activate Reinforcing Memory Boost, they can still look at the top 2 cards and add one to hand. The other one will just get trashed. And then they'll have the reinforcement on field for the delay their following turn. So, and then recovery effects will still activate. It just won't put the card to the top. Stuff like that. So things like that. If they have a card that says if they added a card to their security stack, it gains a memory. It won't be proccing those, but a lot of their effects can still go off, so to speak. But still, they don't get the recovery. They don't get to add the card to their stack. Hence, having an extra life. It stops that, which is really good. And then naturally, they can't attack with most level 5 or lowers. Is really neat too. It kind of keeps them at bay, especially early game when you're trying to kind of stall them a little bit to get to your stuff quicker. Kongu kind of helps you do that. The next we play 2 Pride Memory Boost. Reveal top 3. You may play 1 black Digimon with a play cost of 4 or less without paying its memory cost, then trash the rest. So this is a situation where hopefully we trash. Excuse me. One of these, the Fujin, Raijin, or Suijin, and we get to play a blocker. We get to play a Hakurumon. Any of our little dudes, we get to play, and then we have the delay for later as well. And then lastly, I chose Ultimate Flare over Iron Fist Onslaught because there's a lot of cards in this format that either protect themselves from being deleted or do other stuff instead of being deleted, like the Magna X antibody. So, like for example, Raidenmon, you can kill the Raidenmon, but it just brings itself back. The Magna X, you could kill it, but instead of deleting it, it just goes to the top of their security. And I've always built my decks based off of my local meta instead of the national meta, I guess you could say. So most of my local meta play a lot of things that either do something when they're deleted that hurts me or helps them, or it does something else instead of being deleted. And I wanted to get around that, so de-digivolving and then wiping level 3s I felt like was the best way to go. So that was why I chose the Ultimate Flares over the Iron Fisteds in this list at least. But that is all my options. That's my deck. Again, this is not by any means meant to take any regional championships. Could you? Sure. If you just pilot the deck really well and you have good matchups that favor you overall. But ultimately, let's not kid each other. This is a deck for fun. And fun it is indeed. It is definitely fun. I had so much fun playing this Tuesday at my locals. I was thinking about taking this to my big locals Friday, where lately we've been having over 20 people. But I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about making taking Armor Rush. Let me show y'all that real quick, just to kind of give y'all. I was gonna also do the Armor Rush profile tonight, but I decided I wanted to actually take it and play with it to see how well it performs before I showed y'all the profile. But like, here it is, Armor Rush. Like, that's the card I was talking about. Magnamon. Instead of when this card would be deleted, you put it to the top of your security stack instead. So Iron Fisted would just kind of help them because they technically recover one. They just put this to the top of their security stack. So I'd much rather Digivolve this in that situation. But yeah, so I was gonna take this deck Friday and see how it performs before I give you all the profile on it. But this is a fun profile. I play it for fun. Whenever I sit down with a friend or a buddy at locals and they're like, let's play something for fun, let's not play no meta, let's just play something casual, this is my go-to deck. This is so much fun to play. It can contend, it could go for tit for tat against the meta decks, but ultimately this is a fun deck, and it is definitely that. So much fun. I love the Gate Guardian reference with the Raidens and the Fujins and stuff like that. I love how you can build the mega stack and just pop off, and it's not as hard as you would think it is because of the Dark Digimon. So yeah, that's the deck profile. Hope you guys test it out. Tell me what you would change. Tell me your thoughts and ideas on the deck, and I might try it. I love to hear you guys' thoughts and decisions and reasons to why you play what you play. And, you know, sometimes I might add it to my ideas and we'll build something great, you know? But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you try this deck out. It is super fun. I hope you stick around. We got a lot more deck profiles coming up. Got definitely an Armor Rush coming up. We're going to see how this does. Tonight is Thursday. Me shooting this. I'm going to try this tomorrow at Locals Friday. I'm going to let you guys know how it does. And if it does well, I'm going to do a deck profile on it. As I mentioned before, Grandis, I probably won't do a profile on. Despite me coming technically 5-0 last Friday at my Locals with it. I say technically because my actual record was 4-1, but the technicality was because one of my earlier opponents reported incorrectly to our TO, and he put them in as winning instead of me when I had won that game. So that's why I say technically I was 5-0, but based off of the tournament standings, since the little mishap was the mistake occurred, I was really 4-1, but it's fine, it's cool. I talked it over to the TO, he made everything cool. We figured it out, and definitely made amends on the problem. But anyway, probably not going to do a Grandis deck profile because it's pretty similar to what you see on the internet anyway. I only have maybe one spicy card in there, and it doesn't really, honestly, it's just because of my own personal flavor. Most lists, I'll just throw it at y'all. Most lists I saw for the Grandis deck was running 2 X antibody options and 3 green memory boosts, and I kind of just swapped it to run 3 X antibody options and 2 memory boosts. And that's just because personal flair. That's just because that's how I want it. But that's really the only change that was really had. But anyway, back to this. This video is getting a little bit long. I still gotta get back to the idea of how to make these a little bit shorter and get to the point quicker and stop rambling like I'm doing now. Anyway, this is a fun deck. Hope you guys try it. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll be coming at y'all with a deck profile on Armor Rush soon. We've also been doing a Gym Leader Challenge format on Pokemon at my Locals. I'll probably bring you guys a deck profile of that as well if y'all want to see it. I know most of my audience is kind of Digimon related, but if y'all want to see some Pokemon stuff, let me know. I'll give it to y'all, and that's all I really got to say. Yeah. So, good night.